Is a cheap kris automatically a fake or kodi kris? And if a kris is expensive, does that automatically make it authentic or superior? Not necessarily. In fact, this is probably one of the biggest misunderstandings in the kris collecting world today. Assalamualaikum and salutations to everyone. First of all, thank you to Thrax5292 for the excellent question. Let me translate the original question into English for our international audience. The question roughly says, Pak Jofe, may I ask, can the difference between a traditional kris and a kodi kris be determined through price alone? For example, I own a kris worth around 17 Singapore dollars or approximately 242,000 rupiah. Does that mean it is a kodi kris? Now, honestly, this is a very important question because many beginners enter the world of kris collecting assuming price equals authenticity. But the reality is much more complicated than that. First, we need to understand what the term kodi even means. In the Malay archipelago collecting world, a kris kodi generally refers to a kris that is mass-produced or commercially made in larger quantities. Now, that does not automatically mean fake, and it does not automatically mean worthless. Some kodi krises are still attractive decorative pieces. Some are perfectly acceptable for cultural display, performances, education, or even beginner collecting. But usually they are made faster, with simplified workmanship, more standardized designs, and sometimes using modern production methods to speed up output. This is different from older traditional krises or custom forged pieces where the maker invests more attention into the blade geometry, pamor construction, balance, forging techniques, symbolism, and overall craftsmanship. Now, here comes the most important part. Price alone tells you almost nothing. I repeat, almost nothing, because the value of a kris depends on many different factors: age, condition, craftsmanship, historical background, provenance, rarity, materials, fittings, seller knowledge, buyer knowledge, and honestly, sometimes pure market hype. I have seen ordinary modern krises sold at absurdly high prices because the marketing was convincing. And I have also seen genuinely interesting old krises sold cheaply because the owner had no idea what they actually possess. That happens more often than people think. So, regarding your specific example, a kris priced around Singapore dollars of $17 does not automatically mean it is a kodi kris. I would actually need to examine the blade, the pamor, the forging techniques and its quality, the pesi, the ganja, the sheath, the hilt, the overall proportions and signs of modern manufacturing. Sometimes a kris is cheap because it is newly made. Sometimes it is cheap because the fittings are basic. Sometimes it is cheap because the seller simply wants to clear stock quickly. And yes, sometimes it genuinely is a mass-produced modern kris. But price alone is never enough evidence. This is why I always advise new collectors: do not become obsessed with price. Do not become obsessed with mystical claims. And do not assume expensive means authentic. Instead, invest in knowledge. Train your eyes. Study craftsmanship, regional styles, forging characteristics, historical context, and construction details. Because in the real collecting world, a trained eye is often more valuable than a thick wallet. I hope this explanation helps those who are new to kris collecting. And remember, every experienced collector once started as a beginner too. Take your time, ask questions, keep learning. Eventually, your eyes will naturally begin to recognize the difference. In the world of the kris, price can mislead, but knowledge rarely does. I'm Pak Jofe, the kris collector. See you again in the next video.